Welcome my dear students. I am Ganesh Shastri. This online class is brought to you by Vivekananda PU College, Puttur. Today we are going to discuss about a very interesting topic, that is reproductive health. I know students were asking from last year only, sir, when you are going to start about reproduction chapter. So this is a time, your most awaited class. So we are going to discuss about reproductive health today. So if we go by the word reproductive health, first we should know what is meant by health. Okay, so World Health Organization, WHO, has given definition for word health. It says well-being in all aspects of life. What is meant by well-being in all aspects of life? There are four important words which covers this all aspects, that is physical, emotional, behavioral and social well-being. So let us go by the word one by one. What is meant by physical health? See, sometimes we say person is not healthy. What does it mean? Like physical word refers to physic, means we are talking about our body. Like my body doesn't have any problem, all the organs in my body are functioning properly, then we can call that person is physically healthy. Why I am saying this word physically healthy? Because there are other words also which you should consider when you consider a person is healthy. So physical health means we are talking about only body, where my body doesn't have any disease. So all the organs in my body are functioning 100% normally. Then we can say person is physically healthy. So what is health then? It includes four words: physical, emotional. What is the meaning of that emotional health? That is, we know we are living in a society and we know how we should behave in the society. How you behave in your house, you can't behave same way in the college also and outside also. See, like a person having undergarments cannot go to office because he has a dress code and he knows where he is standing and what he is doing. So emotional well-being means, see, when you see reality shows and all, nowadays it is very popular. If you see a Dance India Dance or any program, sometimes judges will give comments like almost all the steps were not completed properly. Then some of the contestants say, I had fever, or my father passed away. All these are emotional issues. See, person, entire body is normal, body doesn't have any disease, but emotionally he couldn't balance it. Like some people suddenly start crying, suddenly start laughing, and when a class is going on, suddenly if you start crying, it is like you cannot control your emotions. So emotionally also you should be well balanced. Well balanced means you are in which place, how you should control your emotions, that you should know. That is, if you can control yourself emotionally, then we can call that person is emotionally healthy. Okay, so we saw two words now. Physically healthy refers to body, physique. Okay, sometimes when we look at the bodybuilders, we say he has got very good physique. Physique means we are only talking about external body. Okay, so we discussed about two words. Physical well-being means body doesn't have any disease. Emotional well-being means he should be emotionally balanced. Then what is this behavioral and social? Both are interconnected words. Behavior means, in all the places we don't behave in the same way. We behave in different ways. See, as a student, how you behave in college and how you behave with your parents, how you behave with your friends, it has lot of difference. So what you can't share with your parents, sometimes you share with your friends. And your behavior, when you are in a society, it is different, and when you are at home and you are alone and your behavior is different. So behavior, one example I'll give, a person who is teasing girls in the college, Do you say his behavior is normal? He cannot control his emotions, what he is feeling about others, so he behaved in abnormal way. So that is what we call behavior is not proper. So behaviorally you should be balanced, like in which place you are, how you should behave, that if you can control, then we can say you are behaviorally balanced. Okay. Social word is interconnected with the behavior. We are living in a society. So in a society, how we should behave, that we should control. If you can control yourself, then we say you have a balanced social activities. So health refers to here well-being in all aspects of life. So all aspects refers to he should be physically, emotionally, behaviorally and socially well, then we can say a person is healthy. Okay. So like now I'll ask you one question. If you have really understood this word healthy, health, a person, all his organs are functioning properly, but he is admitted to mental hospital. So can you call that person healthy? You can't call him healthy because all four words should be there. He doesn't have any problem with any organs, but what about his mental condition? What about his thinking and showing response in the society? That is not normal, so you cannot call that person healthy. If you should call the person healthy, then all four words should be there. Okay. Just we discussed about the one word health. Okay, you might be thinking that I gave lot of explanation about health, because you need to understand the definition, every word. It is not that you have to buy at it. Okay. So what is reproductive health then? What is the meaning of reproductive health? A person who is normal, but all his body organs are normal. Body organs also include reproductive organs. Due to limitations, as a lecturer, I cannot show you reproductive organs in the class, but you know, you have learnt in 10th standard. Male reproductive organ especially, it is testis, and female reproductive organ is ovary. Sometimes there will be problems in these reproductive organs. There is abnormal testis or abnormal ovary, non-functional testis or non-functional ovary. Testis doesn't produce sperms, ovary doesn't produce eggs. In these cases, you cannot call that person reproductively healthy. Okay, so reproductively healthy means a person should have healthy reproductive organs, and along with that, he should be emotionally, behaviorally and socially well. Then you can call that person reproductively healthy. Okay, I'll repeat. A person should have healthy reproductive organs, that is healthy testis and ovary, and along with that he should be socially, emotionally and behaviorally well. Then you can call that person reproductively healthy. I gave lot of explanation on this because they have asked one question on this in the board exam also. That is, the question was like this. This was asked for 2 marks. A person doesn't have any disease. A person is not suffering with any disease. Then can you call that person reproductively healthy? You cannot call that person reproductively healthy because we just discussed now. He doesn't have any disease. That means his body doesn't have any problem. Body doesn't have any disease. Body refers to, we discussed about physical only. Okay, we don't know what is his emotional balance, mental condition, how he behaves with the society, how he behaves with others, we don't know. And socially how he behaves, that also we don't know. So only with one healthy reproductive organs, you cannot call that person reproductively healthy. Okay, so I hope you clearly understood now what is meant by reproductive health. Okay, now whose responsibility it is to achieve reproductive health? Is it our own responsibility? Or if you think about all over the country, whose responsibility to achieve reproductive health? Okay, how to have reproductively healthy society. So we are going to discuss about now what all problems we face while achieving reproductive health as a country. Okay, as a Prime Minister, how he will think about this reproductive health. If Prime Minister thinks that all his country people, like Indians, every Indian should achieve reproductive health, then what all plans, what all strategies Prime Minister should implement in India, and whose responsibility it is? Is it a responsibility of only health department in the government? It is altogether Indian government. Okay, Indian government should think about what all problems we face while achieving reproductive health and what all plans we should make while achieving reproductive health. What is India's plan to have every Indian reproductively healthy? Okay, so that is, you should feel proud that only India, compared to all other countries in the world, India was the first country to consider reproductive health as a social goal. Achieving this reproductive health is it considered as social goal, and it implemented planning in the form of planning that is called family planning. Okay, family planning was introduced in 1951. It was introduced by Indian government. Then you may think, what is this family planning? It is just to plan a family. It has a broad meaning. Okay, so family planning was introduced by Indian government in 1951 to achieve reproductive health. So what all plans they made? What are their aims? What is the aim of family planning that we are going to discuss now? Like after that, after 1951, in 1997, it is not there in the textbook. In case if you think, in 1991, one more program was introduced in place of family planning. Then you may think, what was the mistake in family planning program? There was no mistake in family planning program, but updated version of family planning program was introduced in 1997. It was called RCH program. RCH is a short form. RCH refers to reproductive and child health care program. Then what was its aim or objectives? What they want to do in RCH program? See, one word only says reproductive and child health care program. I have written aims or objectives of this program. Very important program. I have tick marked here. You can see the arrow mark. That is prenatal care of pregnant women and postnatal care of mother and child. Pre means before. Natality refers to birth. Okay, birth. Mortality refers to death. So prenatal means before the baby is born. Okay, what all care should be taken for pregnant women? Earlier pregnant women used to eat whatever food they get in the house. But nowadays pregnant women search so much in Google and they find out what all kinds of healthy food should be taken as a pregnant woman for healthy development of the baby. Okay, so prenatal care of pregnant women. Who should take this? Pregnant women, anyway she will take care. As a government, how government plans to take care of pregnant women? I think if you are not aware, I will tell you, for BPL card holders below poverty line, one who has BPL card holders, if a pregnant woman is there in the house, in government, Karnataka government gives 6,000 rupees. Okay, they will directly credit this money to their pregnant women's bank account. That 6,000 rupees is for taking care of pregnant women. Okay, and I think you might have seen that vehicle called Nagu Magu. Okay, that is smiling baby. A pregnant woman, when she is in the village, she doesn't have a transport facility like ambulance. So if you call this Nagu Magu, that is a vehicle like ambulance, it is free, they don't charge, and the Indian government made it free for pregnant women. They will come till the house and they will take pregnant women till hospital, and after delivery they will bring her back to the house and they don't take any charge. Then postnatal care means after baby is born, once the child is born, what all care government will take for these children. Government gives a kit that includes all baby soap, baby powder, then food for baby, then in Anganawadi, that is nursery centers owned by government, for babies till 3 years, they give free food. Okay, so all these points, this point number 5 was not there in family planning. Family planning program introduced by Indian government in 1951 had all these points. I have written 10 points here. All these points were there in family planning except one point, that is prenatal care of pregnant women and postnatal care of mother and child. You can see that word is introduced, child health. Okay, so that is family planning was replaced or renamed as reproductive and child health care program. That means to have reproductively healthy family, taking care of pregnant women, and after birth of child should be taken care. This was not there in family planning. Later it is included in family planning. Then family planning is, that program is renamed as RCH program. In case if you have doubt, it's not there in the book. This RCH program was introduced in 1997. That is RCH 1, phase 1. In 2005, RCH 2, phase 2 was introduced. Okay, anyway. So, how government will make their people to achieve reproductive health? What are their plans or objectives? We'll see now. Okay, that is aims or objectives of RCH program. What is their goal? What they want to achieve? How they are going to achieve? Number 1, very important, creating awareness among people. Okay, giving knowledge to people about what? About reproduction related aspects. What all are reproduction related aspects then? And whose responsibility it is? It is everybody's responsibility. Like parents, relatives, teachers, friends, all these people are involved in giving awareness. How government gives awareness? See, a person who doesn't have television, a person who doesn't have mobile, okay, how he will be given this knowledge? A person who is illiterate, okay, he didn't go to school, how he will come to know all these programs? That is why people should know about these programs. That is why this topic, very interesting and important topic, which every Indian should know, is introduced in second year biology. Okay, so if students learn about this, they can disseminate this information, they can spread this information, they can make people aware of this information. Okay, so it is parents' responsibility also. Okay, for their children, they should explain these programs. Relatives, see, word of mouth, what we say, word of mouth means I know something and I'll comment on that. Or when I'm sitting with my friend, I'll say that, do you know there is a program called RCH program introduced by government? Definitely his answer will be, I don't know, what is that program? Please explain. Then I can explain about this RCH program. Then he will explain it to others. So like that the message will spread, so that every Indian will come to know about RCH programs. Okay, so among friends, definitely teachers have very great role. Teachers in all the colleges, biology lecturers will teach about this. Okay, then other people also will come to know about RCH program. So first aim or objective of RCH program was creating awareness among people about reproduction related aspects, and it is responsibility of parents, relatives, teachers and friends to spread the message, to give the awareness to people. Now the greatest $1 million question is, the question mark is, how they will do that? How they will do that? See, my friend is in Delhi. My friend is in Delhi. How he will come to know that RCH program is there unless I explain him? If I explain him, only one person will come to know, that is my friend. So if you want to spread this information to whole India, how you will do that? And now it is modern era. We have mobiles. If you just put this information in Facebook or WhatsApp, every person will get this. But you think about the situation, this program was introduced in 1951. Do you think in 1951 we had mobiles? Facebook, WhatsApp, nothing was there. Then you think as a Prime Minister, how he should take measure, okay, so that every Indian will come to know about these programs. So they used audiovisual aids. Audiovisual aids means not like a PowerPoint presentation what we have now. Computers were not there. So how they did? They just went out and they went to every village. They arranged a program and in a mic they were announcing it. Okay, then print media. Print media means not that what you are thinking nowadays, that is very big hoarding you will put there or banners. That was not there. They were using just a posters or bills. Okay, they used to print it and give it to people. People will read it if they know to read. If they are illiterate, they don't have any education, then you have to make them understand. You should make them understand by giving speech. So this is what government did. Now one more question I have. Okay, they will announce in the mic, they will give speech, they will give posters or bills to people, they will read it and understand. Who will do that? Whose responsibility? Whose responsibility it is? Two institutions. One is Government of India, that is Health Department in the Government of India. Health Department people, workers, they go to every village and whatever knowledge they have about RCH program, they will tell people through word of mouth. Or either government will do that, that is Health Department, or else NGOs. Definitely you might have heard this word NGOs. What is that meaning NGOs refers to? That is non-governmental organizations. In short, they don't belong to government, they don't work for government. Non-governmental organizations. They will do it just like a social service. And don't think that NGO people will get any money for doing this. They don't get any salary for doing this. Just as a social work, they want to do something good to the country. So on their own, voluntarily, they will go to the villages and they will tell people about RCH programs. Okay. So either government, the health department will do, or else NGOs, non-governmental organizations will do this program. I mean, to spread the message. So first aim or objective we saw, that is creating awareness about the people. That was one objective, one aim or one goal of RCH. And second, very important, introducing sex education in schools. Introducing sex education in schools. See, nowadays, if you use that word sex only in the classroom, students will start laughing. Sir is talking about sex. So introducing sex education in schools, you should have a broad mind. Like, students at this age will have lot of doubts, misconceptions, what I say, misunderstandings, what you say. See, I have seen, like when I was in 7th standard, one girl had severe stomach pain and she was sent home. Then we were complaining teachers that you left her, why didn't you leave us? Even we want to go home. Then the teacher was laughing. She couldn't explain what happened there, because the girl was having a menstrual cycle. That was the first time she had menstrual cycle. Bleeding started through vagina, and that girl was completely confused what is going on. She explained it to her teacher that she is going to die because she is bleeding through her vagina. First time it happened in her life, and she thought she is going to die. So these are all misconceptions. We can tell children that it is going to happen for every girl, okay, once in her life, and then it will continue throughout her life. So some misconceptions will be there, like some people think that mating or intercourse is like a torture. It's like a torture for them. How people will do that? Okay, so it is all misconceptions or misunderstandings. And when you are lot of curious about sex related aspects, there are chances that children may do sex related crimes also. So whatever you know about sex, so you have to explain in a way that they should not feel guilty of what they are doing. Okay, so you should educate the children. So that is why they want to introduce sex education in schools, just to clear the misconceptions or misunderstandings among children. Okay, and children should lead a reproductively healthy life throughout their life, so they will educate the children. And third goal was proper information about reproductive organs. Even though in 8th, 9th, 10th standard about reproductive organs, explanation is there, but in some schools usually teacher hesitates to explain these topics to children, so they may give it as an assignment. So in that case, what happens, their curiosity in reproduction related aspects will increase. It may lead to some problems. So proper information should be given about reproductive organs and hygienic sexual practices. Hygienic sexual practice means, see, for example, a girl has periods or menstrual cycle. What all cleanliness or hygiene she should take care in that period? Okay, like using sanitary pads. What happens if a girl uses dirty clothes during menstrual cycle? There are some microorganisms in that dirty clothes, or the cloth is wet. It may form fungus in that area in the vagina, or it may lead to some health issues. So all these hygienic practices you should tell children. And about adolescence. Adolescence means like you call teenage. When it starts with 13, when their age is 13, it ends with TEN, 13, teenage till 19 years. Adolescence, when a boy or girl enters adolescence, that age, lot of changes happens in their body. It may be mentally, emotional changes, or else it might be physically. Okay, that they can notice themselves. So those changes, they think something wrong is happening in their body. So as a parents, as a friend, you should tell them that all these are normal processes. Okay, it is going to happen in everybody's life. So what all problems they face, how to control their emotions in that age, all that should be explained. And very importantly, STDs, that is sexually transmitted diseases. Like a person doesn't wear condoms, or person who doesn't use precautionary measures while having sex. I'll give one example. Suppose a girl, we don't know name of that girl, that girl has AIDS or HIV. Okay, she has AIDS. A boy who doesn't know that she has AIDS, he will mate with her. Definitely he is going to get AIDS. That is sexually transmitted diseases. How to prevent sexually transmitted diseases? By what way a person gets sexually transmitted diseases should be explained to children. So that is what they are saying. Proper information, clear information should be given about reproduction related aspects. Then Fourth goal of RCH program is educating couple or marriageable age group. In what way? Marriageable age group means for girls, marriageable age fixed by Indian government is, for girls it is 18 years and for boys it is 21 years. Once they cross this age and they decided to marry, at that age some important information should be given to those people, because they are going to reproduce in future. At that time sometimes it leads to unwanted pregnancies. Unwanted pregnancy means the couple doesn't want to have children, like just they got married, for next 3 years after marriage they don't want to have children. At that time, what are the possible ways to avoid pregnancy? How to stop pregnancy for next 3 years after marriage should be given information. How to avoid it? What all methods are available? What all devices are available in the market, in the medical shop? All that should be explained to them. Okay. Then the fifth goal is very important: prenatal care of pregnant women and postnatal care of mother and child. I told you, when family planning was introduced in 1951, later it is updated, like you say updated version. That is, some changes are made in this program, that is RCH program. What is included, what is added there? That is this fifth point. Prenatal care means, natality means birth. Pre means before birth. Before the child is born, what all care pregnant women should take care. Okay. Then postnatal care of child. Pregnant women delivered a baby. Now you should take care of that mother also and also child. That is why that word is there, child health care program. Okay, so it is reproductive and child health care program. Next point, very important. Importance of breastfeeding should be explained to mother who delivered a baby, because breast milk, first when mother delivered a baby, in the next 24 hours, she will produce a milk in her breast, that is yellowish milk. The milk produced by mother is yellowish. It contains antibodies, very important, antibody A, IgA or antibody A will be produced in that. So definitely some mothers think that it is yellowish milk, so it is spoilt milk. It is not anyway it is not at all useful for the child. They should not throw that milk. That first milk, yellowish milk, contains antibodies. What is the importance of these antibodies? That antibodies gives immunity to the baby. Immunity means ability to resist or fight with germs or diseases. Okay, baby will not get any disease if the baby takes that antibodies. That important IgA type of antibodies will be there in the breast milk. So doctor should definitely explain the mother about importance of breastfeeding. Usually doctor says for first 6 months, at least first 6 months, breast milk should be given to the baby. Sometimes mothers will give up to 2 years. But if she can't give it for 2 years, at least 6 months baby should be given breast milk, because breast milk contains antibodies. Newborn baby will not have any antibodies. It cannot fight with diseases. So by drinking mother's milk, baby will get disease. Baby will get immunity. It can fight with the diseases. Okay. So next goal of RCH program is equal opportunities for male and female child. See, you have heard this in the society, people saying, even in the news channels also. Girl child is found dead, okay, on the roads or in the dustbin. Why it happens? Because we have a social evil. What people used to think that having a baby boy is great and having a baby girl That means they are going to face problems in future. All that thinking was there, but you should feel proud that we have a very good Prime Minister now, great Narendra Modi. He has brought one program called Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. I think you might have heard it. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao program has made parents very proud that now they don't differentiate between baby boy or girl. Earlier, what was happening in 1950s after independence, parents used to think that having a girl child is a biggest problem that they are going to face in future. And some people used to say that if you have baby boy, only then you will go to heaven, otherwise you will go to hell. Okay, that kind of actually that kind of problem is not there. It is not going to happen. So nowadays equal opportunities are there for both boys or girls. Okay, boys and girls have equal opportunities. So killing the female fetus, female child should be stopped. It should be stopped. Okay, that's why equal opportunities are given for male and female child. You know this, that even for the government jobs, okay, 33% reservation was there for girls. Now it is increased to 50%. Suppose 20 jobs are there, 10 jobs you have to give it to female also. Okay, so 50% reservation, that means 50% for girls, 50% for boys. So it is equal opportunities for male and female. So parents should never think and hesitate to get a girl child. So equal opportunities for male and female child. Awareness, next is awareness about problems of population explosion. Okay, so that is population explosion means expanding population in India. Now, as per the data, we know that India is in second place in population. But if the same thing continues, you know what is going to happen. What all problems we face in population explosion? So some people say, okay, if they reproduce and increase population in India, how we are going to face any problem? Definitely, every Indian will face a problem. You may ask, how? There is one word called energy crisis. Have you heard this word? Energy crisis. Energy crisis means, see, in economics we say, demand for food is more or demand for energy is more, but production of food is less. Okay, like I'll give clear idea. There are 10 students and 10 packets of food. Okay, so that every student will get one packet of food. It is enough for him. Suppose 10 packet foods are there and 20 students are there. Then 2 students will get one packet of food. Then you think 10 packets of food and 100 people. So you have to share one packet of food to 10 people. That means demand for food is more, but supply of food is less. Then we reach that situation called energy crisis. Demand for energy is more, people ask more and more energy, more and more food, but production of food is less. Okay, so that is what we call energy crisis. This energy crisis we will face if population expands or number of people in India increase. Then what happens? People are more, but food produced is less. So people should be given knowledge about this. Then people will think, okay, I should not increase the population, so I should have less number of children, not less number of children. Now Indian government says you should have only one child norm. You might have heard that before. That is hum do hamare do. In Hindi they used to say, that means we two are two. Like in Kannada also we used to say Aarti Goblu, Kirti Gobba, means one boy, one girl, enough. That was when in 1950s, when population was less in India. But now population is expanding, we are crossing China. So the population should be controlled. So you should have a smaller family. So norm says you should have only one child. So people should be given information about this. Otherwise people think, who are you to explain all this? Okay, if you ask somebody to have a smaller family, then they will scold you. Who are you to ask this question to me? Okay, so it is everybody's responsibility as Indians. Every family should think about this. That is what we call family planning. You should plan a family means you should have a smaller family. That is having only one child. Okay, so next goal is addressing social evils like sex abuse and sex related crimes. They want to stop this. That is the goal. That is, social evils like sex abuse means, a girl child at the age of 3 or 4, they should be explained, or you should just tell them, if anybody touches you, especially in the reproductive organs in that area, or if somebody tries to kiss on your lips, you should say no. Okay. So if you feel uncomfortable in school, or if somebody touches you and you feel uncomfortable, first you should report it to your teacher. Definitely you should report it to your parents. They will take care. Okay. That is misusing somebody. That is what we call sex abuse. Okay. So sex related crimes at the age adolescence or teenage, what we say, boys and girls will have so many thoughts in their mind. They don't know what is right, what is wrong. Okay, they try to do something and it happens in different way. Like one boy uploaded something, girl's photo in the Facebook, and it created a havoc for that family, that girl's family. The girl felt shame for uploading the photo, and any internet related crimes if they commit, that is sex related crimes. Okay, so regarding sex, if they put anything or any crime they do, that is sex related crimes, it should be stopped. Then very important, statutory ban on amniocentesis. You may think this word amniocentesis, now it is banned. What was this amniocentesis then? Before, in 1950s and all, this method was there to know whether in the pregnancy, whether it is baby boy or not. Like parents will know before delivery only that whether it is a baby boy or girl. Then what parents were doing, if they come to know that if it is a baby girl, they will get it removed because they don't want to have a girl child. But now that is not allowed. Till mother delivers a baby, parents will never know that it is a boy or girl. Okay, so amniocentesis, how they will come to know that whether it is baby boy or girl? Around the baby, in the mother's womb, around the baby there will be a liquid, fluid, okay, yellowish fluid. It is called amniotic fluid. With a syringe, they used to insert the syringe in the mother's womb, belly, and they used to suck this liquid. They used to remove that liquid through syringe. Okay, what that liquid contains? It contains cells, the baby's cells, the fetus cells or embryo cells. The cells will tell you which type of chromosome is there in the cells. Like you have learnt in high schools, male and female have one chromosome difference. That is, female will have X and X chromosomes, 2 X chromosomes. Male will have 1 X chromosome, 1 Y chromosome. So in amniocentesis, what they were doing, they used to remove the fluid, they used to study the cells, okay, under microscope. So when they study the cells under microscope, if Y chromosome is there, it is baby boy. If both X chromosomes, then it is baby girl. So they were misusing this technology, okay, and killing girl childs. Okay, female fetus they used to kill. So government of India banned this amniocentesis. Now you parents will not know whether it is baby boy or girl. So they banned this process. Then how to implement these goals? Anyway, they gave these aims or goals. They wanted to do all this. Government wants to achieve this. Okay, but how they will achieve? How to implement? Like one rule is there, how to bring that rule in India? Like everyone should wear helmet. How you will bring it as a rule? Okay, so that we will see in next class. So implementation of this goals of RCH we will see in next class. I hope you have understood these topics. Thank you.